It was just another slow Tuesday morning at Maple Bean Café, a cozy little spot tucked at the corner of Ashford Street, where sunlight filtered through the window blinds and the smell of freshly baked muffins lingered in the air. Mia Turner, a 27-year-old waitress with a messy ponytail and tired eyes, balanced 2 trays in one hand while scribbling an order with the other. Life hadn't been easy on her. She was barely making rent for her small apartment, caring for her sick mother at home, and juggling bills that seemed to multiply every week. But Mia had something most people in her situation had long lost: kindness. She greeted every customer with a warm smile, no matter how exhausted she felt inside. That morning, an old man walked into the cafe. He looked frail, his back slightly hunched, clothes faded, and shoes worn out. He carried 2 heavy grocery bags that seemed far too much for his trembling hands. When he reached the door, no one moved to help him. Customers kept sipping their coffee, lost in their phones, indifferent to his quiet struggle. But Mia saw him. Without thinking twice, she rushed to the door, gently taking the bags from his hands. "Let me help you with that, sir," she said, her voice soft yet full of care. The old man blinked in surprise, as if no one had spoken to him kindly in a long time. "Oh, thank you, miss. You didn't have to," he mumbled. Mia smiled, brushing off his thanks. "It's all right. You sit here, I'll bring you some water." She guided him to a corner table near the window, set down his bags, and poured him a glass of water. He looked around, hesitant, almost embarrassed. "I don't have much," he whispered. "Just wanted a small cup of coffee." Mia leaned forward, whispering back, "Don't worry about it. It's on the house." He stared at her, his wrinkled face softening into a grateful smile. "You remind me of my late wife," he said quietly. She always believed kindness was never wasted. Mia's chest tightened at his words. She patted his hand gently before walking back to the counter. The rest of the morning went by in routine. Customers came and went, the espresso machine hissed, and the radio hummed softly in the background. But every time Mia glanced at the old man, she noticed how he sipped his coffee slowly, savoring every drop, as if it was more than just a drink. It was a memory. When he finished, he stood up and thanked her once more. "You've done more for me than you know," he said before shuffling out of the cafe with his grocery bags. Mia thought nothing more of it. To her, it was just a simple act of kindness, helping someone who needed it. The next day started just as usual. Mia arrived early, tying her apron and opening the cafe with her usual smile. But by noon, the air changed. The bell above the door jingled, and 4 tall men in black suits stepped in. Their presence was commanding. Sharp eyes, earpieces, and the kind of silence that made the whole cafe turn to look. Mia froze, a tray still in her hand. Can I help you, gentlemen?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. One of them, clearly the leader, scanned the cafe before his gaze landed on her. "Are you Miss Mia Turner?" Mia's heart skipped. "Yes, that's me." He nodded and spoke into a small device clipped to his collar. "We found her." Then he turned back to her. "Please come with us." The cafe fell silent. Her coworker Lisa's eyes widened. "Mia, what's going on?" I don't know," she stammered. Her mind raced. Had something happened? Was this a mistake? The men's expressions were unreadable, but not threatening. They motioned toward the door. Mia hesitated, wiping her hands nervously on her apron. Outside, a sleek black limousine waited by the curb. Its polished surface reflected the afternoon sun, and the moment the door opened, Mia's breath caught. Inside sat the same old man from yesterday, but now he looked completely different. His posture was straight, his suit impeccably tailored, and his presence radiated quiet power. "Mia," he said, his voice warm but commanding. "Please sit." Completely stunned, she climbed into the car, still holding her notepad out of habit. "Sir, what's going on?" she asked. The old man smiled kindly. "You helped me yesterday without asking for anything in return. You carried my bags, gave me water, and treated me like a human being. Do you know how rare that is these days?" "I just did what anyone should," Mia said softly. He chuckled. "No, my dear. You did what few would." Then he handed her a small envelope. Confused, she opened it and gasped. Inside was a check for $250,000. "This is a mistake," she exclaimed, her hands trembling. "I can't take this. Why would you give me this?" The old man's smile deepened, the kind that held both sadness and gratitude. "My name is William Harrington. Perhaps you've heard of Harrington Industries?" Mia's eyes widened. She had, It was one of the largest real estate and hospitality companies in the state. I lost my wife 5 years ago, he continued softly. Since then, I've struggled to find kindness in people. Yesterday, I went to that cafe as a test. My driver was ready to step in, but I wanted to see if anyone would help me without knowing who I was. Only you did. Tears welled up in Mia's eyes. I didn't do it for anything. And that, he interrupted gently, is exactly why you deserve everything. He leaned forward, his expression earnest. I want you to manage a new branch of my foundation, the Harrington Heart Initiative. It's a charity that funds struggling workers, single parents, and people who still believe in kindness. You'll have a team, a full salary, and that check is your starting bonus. Mia's mouth opened, but no words came out. Her world spun. Yesterday she was worrying about rent, and now this man was offering her a life she never dared dream of. Why me? She whispered. Because kindness, he said, is the rarest qualification of all. The car stopped in front of a beautiful glass building downtown, where a golden sign read, Harrington Heart Initiative. Inside, staff members were already waiting to greet her. As she stepped out, her heart pounded, not with fear, but awe. The old man followed her out, his eyes glistening with quiet satisfaction. That evening, when Mia returned to her small apartment, her mother looked up weakly from the couch. You look happy, she said. Mia knelt beside her, taking her mother's hand. Mom, she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. Our life's about to change. She told her everything, the old man, the limo, the foundation. Her mother listened, stunned and emotional. You see, sweetheart, she said, squeezing Mia's hand. What you give to the world always finds its way back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but always. Weeks passed and Mia settled into her new role. She helped distribute funds to struggling families, arranged free meal programs for seniors, and started community projects in small towns. Her life had transformed, not because she sought wealth, but because she had given something priceless, compassion. One day, as she walked through the cafe where it all began, now thriving with customers who recognized her story, she noticed a young waitress rushing to help a homeless man struggling at the door. Mia smiled quietly. The cycle of kindness was continuing. Later that night, she received a handwritten note from Mr. Harrington. It read, Dear Mia, you reminded me that kindness still exists in a world obsessed with gain. You helped me believe again, not in wealth or success, but in people. Wherever life takes you, remember, the greatest returns come from the smallest acts. Mia folded the letter gently, her eyes glistening. She looked out the window at the city lights and whispered, Thank you. The next morning she arrived at work early, carrying coffee and pastries for her new team. As she stepped into the office, she noticed a young man sitting in the lobby, nervous and clutching a worn-out resume. He reminded her of herself not long ago, unsure, hopeful, and scared. Mia smiled and walked over. Hey, she said softly, you look like you could use some coffee. Come on, I'll help you get settled. The young man's face lit up in relief, and in that moment Mia realized something profound. Kindness isn't just an act, it's a chain. One gesture sparks another, and before you know it, you've changed the world one small moment at a time. Years later, when people spoke about Mia Turner, they didn't just talk about her success or the foundation she led. They talked about how she never stopped being that same humble waitress, the girl who helped an old man carry his bags and, in doing so, carried herself into a future built on kindness, because sometimes it takes just one selfless moment to transform not only a life but a legacy.